like 12 and 62.
Right.
Unbelievable what he's done as a turnaround. He's been absolutely sensational.
Now, they were picked to finish 9th in the ACC this season. They come in the number 2 seed, Duke the number 1. We are ready to go, underway. And Duke wins the opening tip as they chase their 31st win of the season. Louisville as hot as anybody in college basketball as they come into the championship game.
OB, it seems like forever since these two teams have met. It was December the 8th in their first matchup, and the Cards got the Blue Devils down 14 in the first half. But it was a tremendous run in the second half. Cooper Flagg had a little to do with that, though.
Yeah, Cooper Flagg was tremendous in the second half of that game. He's not going to be able to help him here tonight on the floor.
He and Malik Brown, in fact, combining for 23 rebounds in that game.
Yeah, 26 points, 20 of them for Cooper. But also Malik Brown with 3 steals in that game. We know what he does defensively and how he helps his Blue Devil squad.
Edwards Jr. with a shot clock a factor, now down to 3. He'll be a huge factor tonight as he lifts and can't hit it. On the other side of the iron, a second effort. Here's Hepburn, Chucky Hepburn. Oftentimes, as he goes, that's how Louisville will go, and he'll knock down that shot.
He is special. Leads him in scoring, assists. He's a great defender. In fact, he's Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. That's amazing.
He is a menace. Had 6 steals in their semifinal win over the Clemson Tigers and was all over the place last night.
Proctor can't hit it, but the slam down by Malawaks, the 7'2 freshman.
He's been playing really well. First 2 games, he had a total of 27 points and 18 rebounds. He has been a difference maker, Corey.
And he's a different player than he was when these 2 teams met the first time, Dickie V. He only played about 10 minutes in that game, was 1 for 1 from the field. He's already matched that here in the first 2 minutes of this game.
He's not going to play 10 minutes tonight.
Adley trying to back down, taken away by Proctor.
Great play defensively by Proctor. That's an vet move, OB.
James negotiating his way. Proctor will try a long one. Can't get that. This has been a major problem for Duke in the tournament, Dick. They are 12 for 52 from three-point land.
They have not shot the ball well. You're right, Obi. They have not shot the ball well here in the tournament from the 3. They're going to have to make some good threes here tonight.
Saw Tyrese Proctor there with the steal. That's old Scottie Pippen move. Fake to the front, take it away from you from behind. Another turnover.
Yeah, Hepburn, he just flat lost the dribble.
I like that Scottie Pippen analogy.
Scottie used to do that to all the young guys. Proctor, one of the veterans, getting it done on this last possession.
On the watch high post, Proctor with a floating pass for the big guy who slams it down.
What potential, what a future he has. He didn't start playing basketball until 4 years ago. Are you kidding me?
And he
Can't
is
teach that size either.
Yeah, he's been a centerpiece for the Blue Devils throughout this tournament on the offensive end as a lob threat.
Edwards off the fake, harassed. He can't get it to drop. James with a rebound.
Malawaks made that happen. No question about it.
Knipple on the drive, little hesitation. He took a shot. Both guys going down. Waterman the other, he was clutching at his shoulder. Back to the alley-oop a moment ago.
We saw this time and time again in the semifinal matchup against the Tar Heels last night for the Blue Devils, getting inside the painted area, throwing it up, whether it's Malawaks or it's Gumba. The Blue Devils have 2 lob threats on the interior.
Tell you what, Corey, he has a 60-second dunk for the lob. The whole team, the opposition, is at only 53. He's got 62 by himself.
Man, you hit the books over the last week. Homework Central.
Preparation, the key to life. You got to be prepared in whatever you do.
Knipple at the line, 91%. He made 12 out of 13 the other day against Georgia Tech.
He's such a fierce competitor. I'll tell you one thing. His stock is going up, up, and up. Corey, like your stock. When you played in Virginia, it was going up, up, and up. I called your games.
You called everybody's games. With another one that will go down for the point guard, the 6'2 senior from Omaha, Nebraska.
Well, he is special. He really is special. And no shot he made to get them to advance against Stanford.
Yes, at the buzzer. Malawaks, and it's going to be a traveling violation.
Obi, one of the things you and I have talked about, and we know that to beat the Blue Devils, you absolutely have to have guards that can win a one-on-one matchup. So when you think about Chucky Hepburn, Terrence Edwards, both guys really could have been first-team All-ACC performers. They can oftentimes win their matchups individually, especially when you switch defensively.
I'll tell you this, they also got a good wing player in Hadley.
Hadley with 20 points last night.
Hepburn with a triple.
And again, the ability to be able to move Hepburn off the ball and place the ball in the hands of Edwards, allow him to be the facilitator, allows Chucky to get loose without 10 defensive eyes watching him.
Knipple right by everyone. A strong move for 2.
I get a real feeling here that guys like Knipple and Hepburn, they love the big stage. They love this.
Hepburn again. A little bit short this time, and that goes up and over the top of the backboard and back over to Duke.
Dickie V, I agree. They love the big stage, and the stage doesn't get any bigger than the ACC Tournament Championship. With Dick Vitale on the call, of course these guys are going to show up with the brightest lights for that bedazzled basketball.
You'll be back. Emus can't help people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
And Doug.
Well, I'll be.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Target made Good and Gather for you, helping you save on tasty berries frozen at peak ripeness, ready whenever you need them. Everyday favorites at unbeatable prices. We made Good and Gather for you, only at Target.
Investment opportunities are everywhere you turn. But at T. Rowe Price, we're letting curiosity light the way, asking smart questions about opportunities like advances in healthcare and how these innovations will create a healthier world tomorrow. Better questions?
Well, we engineered a fast, reliable Xfinity internet.
So you never miss a moment while streaming live sports?
Isn't that the best part about working here?
No, it's the uniform.
Actually, Mr. Jalen, I do feel a little self-conscious.
Yeah, and I feel ridiculous.
I mostly feel cold.
Meeting over.
It's fine. Try to make y'all look fresh. Y'all don't get it.
Know what's fresh? A super fast connection to the court with low lag. That's Wi-Fi built for streaming live sports. Bring on the good stuff.
Grandpa earned it for my family.
Mom earned it for me.
USAA membership is for those who served and can be shared with their spouses, then kids, and their kids for generations to come. Start your family's legacy. USAA. See if you can become a member today.
Huge news. You can get a son of for just $3. Wait, I said son of. Look at the words. Son of Baconator is $3. Thank you. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
Kinder Chocolate presents kids' reactions at their first bite.
It smells good. And it has crowns on top of the tips.
Crafted for kids, loved by all. Kinder Chocolate. Try it today.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Back in Charlotte, time for us to toss it over to Angel Gray.
Well, guys, Duke's dominance gets them back into the ACC championship game, and while their roster has significant changes since 2023, the significant change for them, or what stands true, is that Tyrese Proctor enters this game with the most experience on how to win in this particular game. I was asking Coach Shire how he has changed and how he has grown since that time, and he said he understands the value of each possession, but also that his value is beyond how he can score. He said he hasn't been really putting up big numbers. He did score in double figures in the semis, but he's been impactful in every other category. He also reminded me they both came in at the same time searching for how they had to add to the program's success in their own unique way. Tyrese, once a rookie, now a vet, in learning how to lead this particular group.
Yeah, Angel, Tyrese Proctor was the point guard 2 seasons ago when Duke was able to win the ACC Tournament Championship. He had stars like Derek Lively, Kyle Filipowski alongside him. Now he has to lead this group, and a group of freshmen on the floor with him outside of Sion James. So the difference in the makeup of these two teams and the rosters, OB and Dickie V, you got freshmen playing against transfers. A lot of older guys from Louisville playing against some youngins for the Blue Devils.
It's a big difference, a big difference. Got that experience. They reshaped their whole lineup when you look. Oh, wow.
On target, Isaiah Evans for the triple.
They needed that. He helped them big time 2 games ago when he made 4 big threes In 16 minutes, he had 4 big threes. He can shoot the basketball.
Yep, had 14 points in that game. So Hepburn looking to counter. Cross court, here's Waterman wide open. He sticks it.
Big guy knocks one down.
Waterman has been a force from the exterior, knocked down 2 threes in their semifinal win yesterday versus Clemson. But he's been an addition to the starting lineup with Rain Smith being unable to play. Has added defense and some timely shooting as well.
And if you can't hit.
Waterman is also the Marco Polo of college. He's been a traveling man. He's been at Detroit Mercy. Deuce inside.
Waterman downstairs. He has 5.
OB, Waterman just looked over to the bench. He's limping back down the floor, grabbing his hip. He fell hard on the foul with Con Knippel, and he asked for a substitution after getting the layup on the last possession.
Yeah, he's still pointing to the bench. That one comes free. Knippel hitting the deck. Duke comes away with it. 7 to get off a shot. James in the corner. Knippel will swing it. Shot clock winding down. Here's Evans. Got it!
That's big. That's big. Fine Evans. He's a very streaky shooter. When they beat Auburn, he came off the bench in the first half and made 6 threes.
But let me tell you how locked in Isaiah Evans is right now. He's made 2 threes and has not celebrated on either one of them. He is looking for an ACC tournament championship in his hometown.
And that foul will go the other way. Goes on to Cardinals.
OB, we've seen a lot of Isaiah Evans knocking down threes, but watch as he hits the first one. Boom. Runs back on defense. No celebration. Here's the next one. Off the bounce, the step back. Boom. 3 ball. No celebration. He is locked in and intent on winning a game here today.
He's got a future. He's going to make a lot of money. Anybody can shoot the basketball like that is going to make a lot of cash. Not as much as you, Corey.
Hey, listen, my money's going up right now. Hanging out beside you, people might think I'm a big deal.
Gungba, who's been really aggressive offensively in this tournament. Here's Foster. Took a peek at the shot clock as he goes between the legs and kicks it. And here's Proctor and swishes in the triple.
They're making threes tonight. They came into this game 12 to 52 shooting the 3 in the tournament.
Yes. In fact, missed their first 13 of the tournament.
And this is the best 3-point shooting. The 2 top 3-point shooting teams in the ACC this year. And Edwards answers. Not to be outdone by any of the Blue Devils. Edwards scored 21 in the first matchup, but he came off the bench. He wasn't a starter at the time, but he had success against the Blue Devils on December 8th.
Tell you one thing, he's been starting since that game.
Foul on the Ville with 12:07 to go here in the first half. Collapsing on Gungba. 17-15, Duke by 2.
Terrence Edwards, who oftentimes plays with the basketball in his hands to relieve Chucky Hepburn of some of the ball handling responsibilities, gets the switch and decides to go off the bounce, knocking down the 3 over Patrick Gungba.
College basketball, when you get a strong backcourt, you got a chance. And when they can go on the floor with guys like Hepburn and Edwards, you got a chance. And same thing with Duke. When you look at Duke, think about this. In the whole nation, they are the only team that is in the top 4 in the nation, offensively and defensively ranked by Ken Pomeroy.
Hepburn just picked up his first foul a moment ago. Foster can't get that one to drop. 11:51 to go here in the first half. Louisville with a pair of razor-thin wins in Charlotte.
Noah Waterman off to a great start for the Cards, but takes a hard fall on that right hip. Holding the elbow, but coming back toward the bench, is telling his bench to get me out. But goes to the bench, gets some help from the Theragun, a very important member of this Louisville squad. Of course, playing without Rain Smith, Waterman replacing Rain Smith in the starting lineup, and it adds to their defense especially, although he's knocked down a few threes here in Charlotte.
Waterman really gives them a lot of help. I said he was the Marco Polo guy because he's been at Niagara, Detroit Mercy, BYU, and now Louisville. That's 4 scores.
A 6-year player, a veteran, but has had a large hand in helping Pat Kelsey rebuild the Louisville program.
Edwards on the drive. Proctor sealed him. Shot clock at 7 for Louisville. Is Hepburn has gotten off to a quick start. He's denied. And a pass never got there. Picked up by Knippel. Knippel coming off a couple of strong performances here at 28 in Duke's first game in the tournament, but a turnover. And on the run, they'll fire it out. And pretty sloppy.
Yeah, real sloppy. You know, Hepburn, we saw that pass. He tried to throw diagonally. It was intercepted. That same pass was intercepted against Stanford and almost cost him big, but he came back, showed his guts and his heart, and the ball, loose ball, bounced him at the elbow. He knocked it down, and Stanford was heartbroken.
This would be Duke's first outright regular season ACC and tournament championship since 2006. Knippel inside.
Such a smart play by Knippel, going and using that 6'6" frame to get in front of his defender and then playing off 2 feet to get the easy bucket.
What really makes him special is his ability to drive and to shoot the three as well.
Ruth's inside. Nice bounce feed for the basket. And a well-run play, and Hadley for 2.
I really like Hadley. He's multi-dimensional. He's versatile. Great movement right there without the basketball. Two-man play. Really efficient.
Knippel Malowicz rolling inside. And it is tipped out of play. It'll be Duke ball here.
Dickie V, you said it best. It's great movement by Hadley. He doesn't wait in the corner looking for the three. He makes himself available to Ruth as he attacks the basket. As Malowicz turns his head, gets the easy layup.
The lost art in basketball, movement without the basketball. I really want to put it on the floor, beat guys one-on-one.
Proctor heating up. I mean, he was in no man's land from three-point land the first 2 games. He was 0 for 10.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that can come back and go 5 for 5.
Looking for the answer. It'll be off target by Edwards. And a loose ball save back to the Bill.
Great hustle by Kenai Roos to come up with that second chance opportunity.
Scott wearing that protective mask. Gets it right back to Foster. Big bump. He'll lay it up.
Charge. No,
it'll go the other way.
Smart play by Chucky Hepburn. Getting back in legal guarding position. And now there are times where it's okay to lead with the shoulder, but when you dislodge a player, as Caleb Foster does here, and also extends that right arm a bit, that is going to be an automatic call. Offensive foul, but just a smart play by Chucky Hepburn getting back in position.
That's why he was Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC.
That's it.
It's an honor for a guy like that with his size. He showed that right there. He's a winner, man. He's the winner. Came from Wisconsin. Transfer portal.
But it started.
Transfer portal for us, broadcasting.
I like that idea. That one tipped up and in as Scott got up high.
Scott came from Charleston along with Coach Kelsey. Big guy inside.
And wearing that protective mask that we mentioned yesterday. He got took a real big shot in the face in February at a game and lost some teeth and a facial fracture too. Here's Proctor to launch again. He's feeling it. Hadley on the run. Edwards trying to finish it. He banks it in and a whistle too.
This is a really good Louisville team. Really good.
They are, Dickie V, and they're looking for some national recognition right now. When you consider that the narrative of the ACC being down, I'm not sure if people respected their 18-2 conference record. However, winning an ACC tournament championship against the Blue Devils would absolutely open the eyes of the public, and I think it would increase the seed in NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. Pat Kelsey talking to me before the game. I wanted to play for him. I can tell you that right now. He has that kind of personality.
He really does.
These are 2 rising stars in coaching. No doubt about it. The future for these 2 is so bright. They get it. They know how to manage a roster. They know how to really go out and get players. The key is getting quality transfers if you're going to get them.
Knippel grabbing the miss. Proctor got hit with a foul. Pat Kelsey called last night's win over Clemson the most physical game he has ever coached. And this one's getting pretty physical too. Waterman getting back in the game and immediately involved in this. Gungba hitting the deck. Take a look.
And Gungba taking the worst of that. Waterman grabbing the back of his head. Taking Gungba a second to get up off of the floor after that one. The officials are going to go over and look at this to see if there was anything extra. Looked to be a common foul.
Tell you one thing, Gungba's been a big, big plus for Duke. Coming off that bench, he's got one heck of a future, 6'11". He gets more playing time in the future. He's going to be really special.
Yeah, 12 points against North Carolina really got involved. As you take another look. So the officials tonight, Roger Ayers, Ron Groover, and Clarence Armstrong heading over to the monitor with 8:40 to go here in the first half.
You know, you take a look at Scott. I mentioned before how you look at Malowacz, he's got 61 dunks. He's got 76 dunks. He's second in the nation. Second to Paul Brenner from out of Creighton, who has 100.
And you talk about Scott with the 76 dunks and wearing the mask. So when you go to Louisville, Obi, of course, when you see a mask like that, you think of two separate movies. One, of course, Bane and Batman,
yes,
but also Hannibal Lecter. Okay, so when you look at the mask, people have thought of different nicknames for it. With him being second nationally in dunks, Dickie B, what do you think about Silence of the Slams?
Wow.
Are you good with that?
You worked on that all day. You rehearsed it. You looked in the mirror. Hey, I was saying earlier, can you imagine broadcasting if we had an NIL and we had transfer portal?
Upgraded to a flagrant one foul. There'll be 2 shots and the ball for Duke.
I love that thought, but this one upgraded to a flagrant one on the collision between Gungba and Waterman, who's had a rough first half, and that'll send Patrick Gungba to the line.
So what it's going to be, they had to have looked at that as excessive. And that's the only reason it was upgraded to a flagrant one, is because they thought it was excessive with the contact for Waterman running in to Gungba on that possession.
Now Gungba just 64% at the foul line.
Tell you one thing, he got a nice standing ovation though, Gungba, from the Louisville bench when he missed that free throw.
So he makes the second. And of course the basketball for Duke too.
You know, in a way, I agree with Roy Williams. Roy Williams, the Hall of Famer, said once, I remember him saying this, he said the tournament is like a cocktail party because the real steak and potatoes is coming up next. And I think Duke, in a way, is going to benefit in this. Have guys getting really important minutes till they get Cooper back.
Proctor too long. And a foul to go the opposite direction with 8:26 remaining.
And they're not only missing Cooper, they're missing Malik Brown as well. As you take a look at Cooper.
And Malik, of course, Gungba picks up the personal.
Malik with that shoulder problem.
No sling there for Brown, so good sign there. Out with that left shoulder, which has been so troublesome.
Many people confused OB. They see Cooper with the chain on with the number 32 on it. That was his high school number. That was his Maine United number. Of course, wears the number 2 for the Blue Devils, but that's an old chain.
Yeah. Shout out to Maine United, Newport, Maine. Wow.
I think it's a little expensive too.
Oh yeah.
I think the NIL money must have helped with that, baby.
We're going to cap up Champ Week tomorrow, by the way. 2 more championship games. SEC title game at 1. And then on the final automatic tourney ticket, that'll be punched by the winner of the American Championship game.
Hey, what about today? Florida blowing out Alabama, putting up like 100 on them. It's unbelievable what Florida's done. Bruce Pearl told me when I did an All-American game. He said, Dickie B, take it to the bank. Florida's the best team in the country. He said that. That's coming out of Bruce Pearl.
Well, Florida was the team that actually went to Auburn and beat them on their home floor. So if anyone knows, it would be Bruce Pearl that's going to have a chance against Tennessee tomorrow.
Shot clock down to 1. Hepburn, he did get it to the rim. And that'll go in the opposite direction with 7:43 left in the half.
Win is if you beat a team who is 1 to 30 ranked and you beat that team. And man, that's a big, big win for you. And then at home. And then if you beat a team on a neutral floor, that's 1 to 50 and 1 to 75 away. Those are quad 1 wins. Saying all that, North Carolina was a charge right there. North Carolina, for example, My eyes, my one eye actually, my one eye tells me they belong in the tournament. That team is a different team, Corey. They're a different team than they were earlier in the year. The last 10 games, you've seen them with the big lineup now. But what's going to hurt them? The Duke's going to a zone. What's going to hurt them is the fact they're 1 and I believe 11 or 12 in the quad ones. I mean, that's going to really hurt them. If the committee lives by all that talk about quad one, strength schedule, that's going to hurt them tomorrow when the selections are.
But I think we both know exactly what you mean about Carolina. They just look like a tournament team. Hadley will scoop it and lay it in. They did not in the first half yesterday when they were down by 21 and eventually 24. But by the end of the game, they look like a tournament team. That's kind of the story of the Carolina season, right? Right now, Lenardi has them out of the tournament. They've been yo-yoing back and forth. James on the attack. Can't get it up there. Malawach tried. He couldn't do it. His hook. And that'll drop in.
Malawach has been spectacular for the Blue Devils to start this game. All over the offensive glass, being a lob threat, and a presence on the interior of both ends of the floor.
Great second effort.
Hepburn, no. Hadley grabs it. Edwards, 25 points, 21 points in the first 2 games of the tournament for Louisville, a number 2 seed.
There's a chance for the MVP if they win this game.
Indeed. On his spin move. Couldn't quite get it there. Loose ball and scooped up by Mason Gillis. Quickly, here's Evans.
You don't mind that shot by Evans, though. That's one of the things John Shire knows. He's not going to be bashful when he gets his opportunities. He's going to take it.
Troyeri with a kick out. Hepburn is open from 3.
Great closeout by Mason Gillis there, getting out, not allowing Chucky Hepburn to see a clean basket. And that's the extra effort John Shire is looking for from his team defensively.
Tell you what, John's done a great job teaching defense. They're one of the 5 best defensive teams I've seen this year.
James, quick step. Got Scott on the move. And a whistle. It'll go the other way on the turnover.
Duke had 13 turnovers against North Carolina, and that didn't please John Shire talking to him before the game.
Kama Malawach continues to hang around the basket. Even though he gets his first attempt blocked, he has the soft touch going to the jump hook, able to finish it off. But the Cardinals making everything difficult on both ends of the floor for the Blue Devils. They're testing Duke's defense, getting into the painted area.
They've been doing that all year against everybody.
They really have. I'm not sure people recognize how good of a team this is. And they're down a number of players.
Boy, Proctor went down hard. And he'll pick up the foul as he tried to stick with Hepburn. Easier said than done.
That's a great point you made there, Curry. Because you know why? People have looked at the ACC in a down year. They look basically 3 teams in this league in terms of when you talk about Clemson and talk about Louisville and Duke. And they look at the rest. Those aren't quad 1 wins when you win those games against those people. It's amazing. This league's going to do a better job of handling the NIL and the transfer portal and get stronger. This conference for years was the best. And I'm telling you right now, it has taken a real hit.
Well, to your point, Louisville is Duke's first ranked opponent since December 4th when they faced number 2 Auburn.
Wow. You do your research.
Up and in for 2. And that's tie it at 25.
That's the second time we've seen that corner cut. Edwards cutting, making himself available to Chucky Hepburn instead of waiting in the corner for the 3 ball. He gives him an outlet around the rim.
You beat me to the point again. I was ready to talk about that because I remember when the movement without the ball first. Thanks a lot.
Dickie V, do you realize how long I have sat in front of a TV and watched you do this? I can do, Dickie V, I understand exactly what you're watching because you taught me this game a long time ago. And when you see guys cutting like that, you're always going to point it out.
Yeah, I love it. I love seeing movement of the basketball, movement of the ball.
Evans got a good look. Malawach had it knocked out of his hands, but chased down by Foster. Proctor's open. He won't wait. Down it goes.
He feels it today, baby. Get me the rock. He's saying, get me the rock. I feel it, baby. I feel it. I feel the excitement here, really. Anytime you play for trophy, it's special.
Boy, Edwards with another quick answer. He's got that knack, doesn't he?
That's who he's been. He is averaging 21 points per game over the last 14 games. I thought he was right on the cusp of being a first-team All-ACC performer, but he is the reason why Louisville is 18-2. They changed their defense because of Edwards.
Knipple around and out. Rebound comes to Hepburn, and we're tied at 28 here in the championship game.
Edwards got a little diaper dandy, a little baby. Yeah.
Hepburn. Malowacz high up for the rebound and a foul. 3:38.
Both these teams wanting to hold that trophy and laying everything on the floor here.
Tell you one thing, we talk about talent. You look at Duke, they got 3 players being charted in the top 10 of the NBA draft, along with Cooper, Knipple, and Malowacz. Watch.
Proctor to give chase. That's going to be Louisville ball.
Caleb Foster could have allowed that ball to go into the backcourt. That's what John Shire's telling him. He could have, because it was tipped, he could have allowed that basketball to go into the backcourt and just grabbed it in comparison to trying to save it in the front court.
John Shire called Carolina's comeback from 24 down yesterday in the second half a blur, and we would agree. That was some performance by North Carolina, but falling short in the end. Tough shot by Hadley as he is harassed going in strong.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I thought Hubert Davis, you know, I worked with him at ESPN and he never ever had that, I thought, that kind of unbelievably fire that he demonstrates on the bench. And I think it reflects his players. His players really see their coach fighting like heck on their behalf. And the bottom line is they never quit. They could have rolled over. They were down 24, I believe, with 16 minutes left in the game.
Right, yes.
Unbelievable.
Now, Selection Sunday coming your way. We've got you covered. It all starts at 6 Eastern. Sports Center on ESPN. Reese and the guys will have at it. And then at 8 o'clock, the women's field of 68 is on the way in bracketology at 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. So it's the Bill by 1.
Sion Smith is such an important part of this team. He really is. What a job he does to transfer from Tulane. Does a great job.
It's the deck real hard. Got it free somehow. And one as James came in to clean it up and took the foul too.
Dickie B, you were right on cue talking about Sion James. And once again, you see guys not waiting around. Cooper Flagg, Malik Brown reacting to the strong play by James. But James not waiting for the basketball. He is making a play, moving his body, getting to the spot, and is able to get an opportunity for an and one because of the
playing the point has really, really helped this team. I mean, James has been so efficient, so effective, and he's got a physicality, strong body. By the way, give me a turnover. I said Sion Smith, I believe. Bottom line is, give me a turnover.
Nah, no turnover. You just said Sion, no turnover on that one. Believe me, if you turn one over, I'll let you know. I'll chalk it up to you, Dickie B.
Zone, man. 2-3 zone.
They already have had 7 lead changes in the championship. Hepburn. There for Scott.
How about the preparation? You talk about preparation. Pat Kelsey had his group prepared for the zone. That was a called play by design to be able to get the dunk along the back line. Great screen set by Terrence Edwards to free Chucky.
Knipple takes the bump, leans in, got it off the window.
Well, he is strong on the drive. He really is. Got away maybe with a little charge right there.
Hey,
bottom line is Hepburn got right in the gap of that zone. You got to get the gaps and seams in the zone. And also right behind the foul line area.
Edwards with a triple. This is some high-level stuff here.
It absolutely is, OB, but when you play zone, you have to be prepared for the three-point shooters. That is the 3rd three-point field goal made in this game by Terrence Edwards Jr. You have to identify where he is if you're going to play 2-3.
James around the back. Same with Foster. The scoop, no. Rebound comes free to the Cardinals. Here they come.
Tell you what, people aren't going to want to look at this Louisville team early in the first or second round of that tournament. This is a real strong basketball team. They got versatility, they can handle the ball, they got shooters.
Edwards directing traffic. Shot clock down to 8. Scott again for Edwards. On Malowacz. Airborne. No. The tip, no. Traore right back up for two.
And what a great effort on the glass right there. Unbelievable. This is a tough, tenacious Louisville team.
You talk about guys that star in their role. Abubakar Traore is absolutely a star role player for the Cards.
Knipple from the corner, won't drop.
What a difference a year makes to be a Louisville fan. Wow.
A little wild by Traore, but he got it free anyway to Edwards. He will attack again, and that'll drop.
Uncle Mo's in the house, baby. Uncle Mo. Momentum has gone the way of Louisville.
A 7-0 run by the Cards, trying to close out this half.
The Louisville Cardinals playing in their first ACC tournament championship. Louisville coming into the ACC in 2014. They have won 21 of their last 22 games, and they are cooking on all cylinders right now in the ACC championship.
A 7-0 run over the last 138, and now looking to get a stop to take a 5-point lead or more into the halftime locker room. But Obi, on December 8th, when these two teams met, Louisville had a 4-point halftime lead. The Blue Devils came out, played an excellent second half, ended up winning that game by double digits.
Yeah, they had a guy by the name of Cooper Flagg who went off in his second half. Right now, he's being a coaching assistant. And if you're Shire, he doesn't need him as an assistant. He needs him as a player.
9 seconds to shoot. Final shot coming up for the Duke Blue Devils. James on the spin and can't get it at the horn. So that's our halftime score. Louisville on top, the number 2 seed, leading the number 1 seed, the Duke Blue Devils, 38-33. A highly entertaining first half.
Yeah, really terrific. I thought it was well played first half. Both teams played with a lot of pride, a lot of intensity and passion. You know, don't tell me these guys don't care about this. The players care. They care and they play with passion.
Let's go to Angel. 20 minutes of emotion, intensity, pain, and joy. Our championship game in the ACC in Charlotte. Dave O'Brien alongside Corey Alexander, the legendary Dick Vitale, and Angel Gray. And Louisville's had the upper hand, 38-33. Terrence Edwards, 15 for the Cardinals. Duke with nobody in double figures.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Same scenario. They were down by 4, as Corey said earlier, in the first matchup, December 8th. But they had a savior. They had Cooper Flagg, who came in the second half, and they ended up winning by 11. I don't know if that can happen here tonight. This Louisville team is executed, they're efficient, and they're playing tough defense as well.
Louisville with a 17-13 rebounding edge. Neither team had larger than a 5-point lead. Edwards airmail on that one to begin the second half. Let's check in with Angel.
Guys, I was able to catch up with Coach Shire, and he told me that their streaky offense was impacted their defense. It led to the 7 turnovers. Just a reminder, guys, they only average 9 turnovers per game. He said he's challenging his team and have to work to get open. I also asked about the zone that he put on Louisville as well. He said Tyrese Proctor right now was in foul trouble in the first half. He was trying to protect him. So just being mindful of where he is in this game as far as foul trouble.
Yeah, Angel, when you consider this is the first time the Blue Devils have played a ranked team, as Proctor knocks down his 4th 3 of the game. But it's the first time they played a ranked team, and this Louisville team is great defensively. It starts with Chucky Hepburn, of course, the point of attack defensively, and Terrence Edwards. So there are a number of really good defenders for this Louisville team. That's what caused a lot of turnovers.
Waterman, who took a pretty good shot in the first half, although he was called for a foul on that with a misfire, but a foul here.
I'll tell you one thing, Corey. When you have a guy like at the point that can defend like he can, Chucky Hepburn, that's such a positive move. Look at this guy cheering his head off. I tell you, what a great teammate he is. Not only a superstar, players love him. Cooper, he's just a great teammate.
It really is, Dickie B. When you consider Cooper Flagg during fall break, didn't want to go back to Greensboro with the rest of his family because he wanted to stay on campus with Common Malawat and Tyrese Proctor, who, of course, couldn't go home. We got a little extracurricular here, just a little gathering amongst friends.
That'll be Duke ball after the tie-up. So getting a little bit chippy.
But because when you see Malawach and Waterman both trying to hang on to the basketball afterwards, and Malawach was having words with Traore on the way out of the game at halftime, both, and Traore clapping in his face. But this game is going to be testy. It's supposed to be. It's March. This is what you're looking at. Trophies are won right now, and it's supposed to be testy between these competitors.
Tell you what, you talk about testing. You know, in a handshake after the game last night, there was an incident. A brawl almost started. Players shoved the player. I personally think we shouldn't have a shaking hands after the game. Should do it before the game.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think after the game,
emotional.
Pinnable with a big drive for 2, and he has 8.
He can drive the basketball. He really attacks with great competitiveness.
Edwards, after the air ball to begin the second half, kicks it out here for Hadley. And Chucky Hepburn, one of the most electrifying point guards in the game. Waterman with a kick himself. Here's Edwards, and sinks it, a three-pointer.
That was a good 3. It was not a bad shot, quality shot. It was set up with a diagonal pass, and he was squared with his body. He squares the body, you can account.
But doesn't it seem as though Edwards is always the guy responding with a 3 every time the Blue Devils go on a run?
Yes. He has 18 points.
I'm shocked he's a third-team All-ACC. Should have been higher than that.
He was higher on my list, Sticky B.
Knipple takes the foul. He gets hit. That's with 17:47 left to go. And keep an eye in this game at the 5-minute mark. If Louisville's in front, they have not lost a game all season long when they're ahead with 5 minutes to go. They're 27-0.
And that
you do your research. Wow, that's unbelievable.
I'm cheating off yours. Yeah.
Wait, you do 7 games. My doctor, Dr. Seitels, he said I can only do 1 game a week after having 5 major vocal cord cancer surgeries.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, I'm honored to be here for 1 game with you guys.
Well,
as you've worked so hard.
It's a thrill, man, to have you. It always is.
Got my guy, John Madre, here. We go back a lot of years.
You go back a lot of years with John Madre. You go back decades with John Madre. Who's as good as it gets.
He's done 43 championship games in the ACC.
Louisville by 1 and the ball. Javon Hadley, dangerous beyond the three-point line himself.
Sion really trying to play as tough as he can. They switched there, and he was playing certainly Hipper.
Edwards, he wants to shoot it. Back it into Proctor. Can he get it up? He did in time, and he hit it right at the horn.
He can score. He's got versatility in scoring. He's not just the guy going to shoot the 3. He'll beat you off the bounce, he'll beat you inside. He's a special player.
He really is. And Edwards was the Sun Belt Player of the Year a season ago for a James Madison team that won an NCAA tournament game. So he has experience in March.
Malawach was not expecting the pass by Evans.
You're right, Corey. He scored over 1,300 points when he's at James Madison, who has a real strong program.
Around and out by Hadley. Duke down 3. It's been whiplash for Duke here in Charlotte. They were down 14 to Georgia Tech in the quarterfinals. Then they were up 24 on North Carolina in the semifinals. James going in strong. He'll draw the foul.
He was a great pickup. You know, you think about these pickups. I think they got a general manager in Rachel Baker, and she is terrific. I'll tell you that. Now you watch North Carolina's going to really improve with Jim Tanner as a general manager.
3 fouls, by the way, on Scott.
Rachel does a terrific job.
And so it will be James to the line, 81%. Played 31 minutes against Georgia Tech in their first game. Didn't turn the ball over. He's had 1 turnover in the tournament. He's so steady with it.
I know you know, Corey. Did he come from Tulane?
He did.
Yeah, Tulane. He was a good player at Tulane.
And tomorrow night at 9 Eastern on ACC Network, the Nothing But Net men's and women's selection special coming your way. They break it all down the brackets and preview all the games ACC teams are going to be playing in. At the moment, Joe Lunardi says 3 teams in the NCAA tournament out of the ACC.
It's a shame. When you think of the ACC, I think of the years of all those great teams in the conference. But right now, only looking at 3 in the NCAA tournament. They're going to do something with that NIL and something in roster management. And that's what Duke does a great job at by having Rachel Baker there.
Edwards working on a 20-point game. Gives it up for Hadley. Taking on Gungba. Downstairs. Got really deep. Waterman on the attack. Airmailed it. Duke with an opportunity to retake the lead.
I love the potential of Gungba, Corey.
And he came in this year, Dickie B, he was injured, missed his entire senior year of high school as Proctor lines up another 3, unable to get it to go. But he was a guy that Duke really wasn't planning to have to play much this year, but because of the injuries to Malik Brown, he has absolutely had to help them and stayed in shape, got himself in great condition, and has been a bonus for John Shire in his roster.
And it's going to help certainly when it gets down to really the meat and potatoes of what it's all about, the NCAA tournament.
5 to get off a shot here. Edwards fumbled it on James, leaning in.
Are you serious? Come on now. Come on now. That's for LeBron James and the big stars of the NBA. Wow, he was pressured, had a hand in his face, and he still delivered. That's a PTB here, baby. A prime-time performer.
Well, his son, who was born back in the middle of February, is named Trey. Here's James. Yes, what an answer.
Nice, smooth, simple, nothing fancy. But you know what? It's 3 in the book.
Hepburn trying to get involved. Once again finds a shooter in the corner, and way too long by Hadley, and out. It'll stay on this end.
5-minute mark. Remember you talked about it?
We're getting closer. We're getting closer, and it's 45-45 with 14:28 to go.
Had him last week where he went for 35. He's averaged close to 21 points per game over his last 14 and saving his best for last. Right now, he's the front runner for ACC tournament most valuable player.
Yeah, if they win the game, win the championship, to me, the victor, the spoils go to the victor. So the bottom line, he wins. He'll get it. I think Knipple will get it if Duke wins.
Hepburn draws the foul, and he'll be shooting 2. Edwards, by the way, with all 7 second-half points for Louisville, and his second half began with an air ball from 3. Put that in the rearview mirror. Hepburn to the line, outstanding foul shooter at 84%.
Edwards is so confident, OB, he forgot all about that air ball. It's almost like it never happened. And again, when you've got a great player as such, you're talking about a young man who's had success at 4 years at James Madison and then coming to Louisville, started off coming off the bench. You had him in the Bahamas.
Yep.
He was not this type of guy.
No.
But now as you look the second half of this season, he really has been the most valuable player for the Cardinals.
High post for Gungba. Handing off for Proctor. The big man rolling inside, batted away. James flips it up, can't make it, but he'll be at the line.
I want to pay tribute to 2 people who lost their lives this week. 2 really superstar people at what they did. Junior Bridgman from Louisville, tremendous player, great businessman, educated many of the people in the NBA about life after playing in the NBA. Junior was as special as it gets. He really was. He became an unbelievable financial success and helped the community big time in Louisville. And also a Duke graduate, John Feinstein, one of the greatest authors I have known in terms of he was super columnist, Washington Post author, and he lost his life suddenly. I was shocked and stunned because he had been texting me earlier, wishing me best of luck, glad to see me back. I was stunned when I got the news, and I know his friends, Hoops Weiss and Bob Ryan, felt the same way.
Well said, a Duke fan too. 13:41 to go. Hadley picked up a foul on the other end. Now whistle here. And that'll go against Gungba, his 3rd.
I'm going to tell you one thing with John Shire. I just looked up. He has 86 wins in 3 years. That's incredible. That's the most ever in the first 3 years in the ACC by a coach.
Knipple knocked that one out of play. Went for that block shot. 19 on the shot clock.
We also want to give a little shout out to Carol Lawson, the women's coach, won the Duke championship of the ACC.
Great run, yes.
Former Tennessee great player.
Former ESPN colleague.
Yeah, she did a great job at ESPN.
Edwards with the hot hand. Off the dribble, no.
He's off balance on that shot, Corey. But you got to forgive him. You let a guy like that do what he has to do.
You're absolutely correct, Nicky B. If you're Pat Kelsey, you want Edwards to continue to be aggressive.
Waterman with the foul as he went for the rejection. But he got bodied, tied at 47. We're going to cap off Champ Week tomorrow with 2 more championship games on ESPN. The SEC title game at 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central. And then one of the final automatic tourney tickets to be punched by the winner of the American Championship game.
I'll tell you one thing. I talked to Pat Kelson. He said one of the keys that he has, and the players are bought into it, we must be unified as a team. No matter what the situation, I want all of you to love one another. Don't worry about who's making more money with the NIL. We're a team, and we want to be a team. And if you're going to do that, you're going to play for me. If not, I'll find someone else. The bottom line is, he said, I love these guys. They have bought into it, and they're all about TEAM. Together, enthusiasm, attitude, and mental toughness.
Love it.
Yeah, I'll give you a little motivational speech. Send me a check.
You do them all the time. Nobody better than you at that. Adley working on Proctor. And swatted away by Gungba.
They really controlled Adley. Adley had 20 against Clemson. And in the first matchup, he had 32. Tonight he's got 5.
Well, he didn't get any here because Patrick Gungba denying that opportunity. Gungba with the reputation of a big-time offensive player, which he is, but he has truly stepped it up on the defensive end for the Blue Devils.
Edwards denied by Gillis. Flipped it, no. And he got the rebound, too.
Gillis gives him a little rebound. He's also capable of shooting the 3. Did it at Purdue really well on a team that went to the final game and got beat by the Huskies in Connecticut, who dominated everyone.
6th man of the year, the Big Ten. From the corner, James. Yes, sir.
He's so valuable. He's so valuable. Doesn't get a whole lot of publicity. But what an asset he is to do. Oh, they love it. The Dukies are love it. They love it.
We have seen
incredible. They're amazingly gifted. They're passionate at what they do. Just want to say thanks to each and every one of them. They have been incredible.
That's really classy of you, David. And you and Quarry, with you 7 games here, have great respect and admiration for it.
Hepburn with a misfire in close. Knipple comes away with a loose ball. And now it's Duke with the big mo.
And James with 12 points in this half.
And another triple by Proctor.
And that's what's been avoiding the Blue Devils since they've been here in Charlotte. However, they found the 3-point touch. They average over 10 a game in the regular season, and now it is showing up in the postseason.
They got 9 in this game. They got 9.
A 10-0 run for Duke. Edwin pushed out to the logo.
Tell you one thing, they play defense. They really get after defensively. You always got a chance to win when you defend.
Proctor again. Around and out this time. Edwards trying to bring back a recovery here for the Cardinals. A long one on the way and too strong by Ruths. Knipple on Hepburn. 1-on-1. A block. But count that. That basket will be good.
Knipple got it on the glass first before Scott was able to get to it. But it's starting to sound like Cameron Indoor in the building right now. The Blue Devils on one of their patented runs.
On the ACC championship, Duke is rolling. They have their biggest lead of the night.
Played really well here in the second half, but this Louisville team's not going to go away.
Little bounce inside by Chucky Hepburn for 2. He has 11.
Nice drive by Hepburn. They're not going to go away. There's no quitting them.
Proctor left open again, and he can't miss all of a sudden.
He's on fire.
How do you lose Tyrese Proctor? He has been the best player on the floor for the Blue Devils in this championship game. And you run down the floor, and no one matches up with him. That's a shoot-around shot, OB. That's playing horse out there. There's no one within 10 feet.
Tell you one thing, he's been on fire. How many threes he made already? 6?
I believe he's at 6.
6.
On the drive, Edwards denied. In heavy traffic, double fake.
What a score. What a score that was. I mean, the way he scores in traffic separates him from so many players. He scores in traffic.
And Edwards has been the answer for the Cards throughout this game.
That's going to be an offensive on Knipple. Edwards kind of crumbling at his feet, and Knipple called for his second.
Tyrese Proctor.
That was a good call.
Tyrese Proctor wide open in the corner and lets him know, you can't hold me. You cannot leave me open. Not tonight. He struggled to shoot the basketball here in Charlotte, but the change of fortunes have been completely different on Championship Saturday.
He was 0 for 10 from 3 in Charlotte before tonight, 6 for 22. He's a different guy in the championship game. Watch high out of the sky for another rejection.
Look at that hustle. Look at that hustle. Are you kidding me? Tell me they don't want it. Are you serious? Boy, Nick Saban would like to get those guys in a football uniform. Wow.
Louisville ball on the possession arrow.
Unbelievable. But look at him diving on the floor. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Watch the shot block right there. Great block. Unbelievable. Now watch this hustle. It's incredible. Diving on the floor. Look at these guys. Look at them right there. Unbelievable. Knipple. It means so much, man. And that is all because what they get from their coaches about we got to hustle, we got to scrap. A lot of guys talk their game, but the players don't relate and do it. These guys do it.
Absolutely. And Dickie V, you know Nick Saban's one of us now.
I know. Like a little publicity.
Well, he does a similar job. I don't know if he's one of us.
I know one thing, his check's a little bigger.
Wait a minute. I'm not sure anybody's check is bigger than yours.
So 9:35 to go in the contest.
20 seconds. Shot clock reset to 20 seconds after Louisville gets possession with the arrow.
I know one thing. If you're John Shire and you're Pat Kelsey, you got to appreciate what those kids on both teams did, going after the ball like that. That's just respect for your uniform, respect for your teammates, and how much it means to you. That's special.
It really is. And Dickie B, you mentioned in the NIL/transfer portal era, one thing that remains constant is great coaches can get their players to play the game the right way, regardless of the money, regardless of anything else. And these two teams have absolutely been great examples of that all season.
Look at the move by Hepburn, weaving his way inside, but he can't finish it.
I agree with you, Corey. No doubt about it. The time is of the world.
Proctor
they
again.
get it, and they get their players to play.
Proctor got the shot in the air, draws the foul.
OB, we have watched the Blue Devils a lot. This is the most aggressive I've seen Tyrese Proctor. 18 points, 6 of 12 from 3. But even the last play, attacking Chucky Hepburn off the bounce. Tyrese Proctor is the only member in the rotation for the Blue Devils that has an ACC tournament championship. He is the leader of this group from an experience standpoint.
Our Players Spotlight brought to you by Cintas.
When you think about all the experience he's had over the years, I mean, it's incredible. He's such an experienced player.
Hepburn picked up his third foul, too, on that play.
Yep. He's right now charted to be a second-round draft choice. He and also Evans. And no, Evans is actually charted now in the first round. And Smith. No, James is also a second round.
I would love to see Tyrese Proctor come back and lead another Blue Devil team. I believe he's better than a second-round prospect. If that's what it's going to be this year, he can change his fortune.
Knipple got a really good look around and out. He doesn't miss many of those. Duke by 9.
I've become a big Knipple fan. I love how hard he plays.
Edwards gives that off. Priori back outside. He's beyond the 3, and now inside it. Trying to get by James, and that's an offensive.
And that's an easy call. Roger Ayers right on top of it. You see the right arm of Traore go across the face of Sion James. An easy one. Roger Ayers right on point.
Tell you one thing, that I've been away from the game a little bit in the last couple of years in my battles with cancer, but the one thing that's constantly coming back, Roger Ayers is always as efficient. You have him on the game, he's going to give you an honest day's work.
The absolute best of the best. And Roger Ayers, the official's going to go over and look at the review
for a hostile act
to see if this should be upgraded to anything. But I agree with you, Dickie V. He is absolutely the best of the best when it comes to the officials at the college basketball level.
These 3, you know, I didn't know something I learned today. Oh, yeah, no question. Watch the contact, absolutely. I did not know until Corey pointed out to me. David Robinson, who I labeled the Admiral, was so good at the Naval Academy, a beautiful guy. His son is an assistant coach, played here, and he's an assistant, right?
He absolutely is. Justin Robinson, who is in charge of the big guys, who has done a tremendous job all season long with Common Malawat, with Malik Brown, with Patrick Gumba, getting these guys available. There's the Admiral, who's my teammate, Dickie V. I was actually drafted to the San Antonio Spurs.
The ruling on the force confirmed offensive foul.
What a great guy.
And there's Justin.
We honored him at my gala, and he was such a big hit, David. Helped us raise millions of dollars. Just there he is right there.
I did not realize, Dickie, that nickname was your idea. The Admiral.
I give a lot of nicknames. What about Michelangelo, Dean Smith? Let me say this. I'm so honored. They called me the other day. I'm going to be the recipient of the Dean Smith Award by the Basketball Writers of America.
Wow.
That really is special.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go there in April up in St. Louis.
Oh, beautiful.
I believe we could name more trophies that you don't have.
The nipple. The follow-up. Oh, Malawat again.
I'll tell you what, a tremendous second effort right there by Duke. Malawat, he is going to be special. 4 years playing basketball. You can't teach his mobility, his size.
Duke trying to win the ACC tournament as they won the regular season of the ACC, but trying to do this for the most part without the best player in the country, Cooper Flagg, who only played about 15 minutes. There's the rejection by the big guy Malawat again, who is having another night.
But how about Malawat just getting in a stance, doing the job defensively, guarding Terrence Edwards? No one's been
in the tournament, but not tonight. Let's go to Angel.
Corey, Coach Shire told me pregame, right now Tyrese Proctor is due an eruption on the offensive end. He said he wanted to make sure that he was easing his way into it, but he said he's found other ways to impact this game. He led in plus-minus-1 game, was one of 4 players to lead in double figures, and also has been able to defend. But in this game, I've seen him throughout this ball game, looking at him, dapping him up, having conversation with him on the sideline. You said it earlier, he is locked in.
And Angel, Coach Shire also talked to you about his guards defensively. Talk about the job that they've done on Chucky Hepburn so far in this game.
I think at the end of the day, when you look at Tyrese Proctor, what we said earlier is he's learned how to lead his way. It may not be the most boisterous thing, but he has led people. And Coach Shire said he believes he has one of the best backcourts with them in the nation. I'll send it back to you, OB.
Hepburn with a foul as he knocked Proctor to the deck. And that's going to be 4 on Hepburn.
And former Duke great, my guy, I love him to death, Jay Will, earlier today, said that Louisville had the best backcourt in the country. Do you think...
You can make an argument for that.
I think they have a great backcourt with Chucky Hepburn and Terrence Edwards. But do you think that Sion James and Tyrese Proctor had a chance to hear that?
It looks like they did.
It looks like they did, because those 2 guys in the second half of this game have carried the Blue Devils. We talk about Con Knipple and how great he's been, but when you look at what has happened in the second half with the Blue Devils going in, down 5, It has been those two veteran guards in the backcourt that has carried the Blue Devils here in the second half.
Jay Well really was trying to motivate him, maybe inspire him.
That could be the case, Dickie B.
In the lane, got the shot up there. Louisville wants that shot to count, by the way.
He wasn't just a dookie. Jay Will was as special as it gets.
That shot will count. It was goaltending.
Absolutely. The right call.
And a foul as well. So it'll be Hadley to the line. Dickie, who do you like to win the whole thing? The NCAA championship. Who are you leaning on right now?
Oh, wow. You're going to put me on the spot.
On the spot, bro.
On the spot. Well, I'm going to tell you this, man. Let me tell you this. I'm going to my BBDI, my Vital Ball Dome Index. I don't need all these other indexes and all that. I just need that ball dome, baby.
That one right
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The beauty.
I need that
it's
ball
the beauty.
dome. My ball dome tells me when you got a team that ranks as the only team in America, only team like Ken Pomeroy, offensively and defensively in the top 4 in the nation. You combine it by having the greatest player in the country today, by a coach who just handles the players so beautifully. I know they're going to yell, he's Dookie Vital. Well, you know what? I can even spell it, D-U-K-E. And that to me is unbelievable. I should be in the spelling bee. But I'll tell you one thing, there's no doubt I feel Duke is going to win it all.
Corey, no ball dome for you, but no. Who's the number 1 team in the country for you? Who's going to win the whole thing?
The number 1 team in the country right now to me is the Duke Blue Devils when healthy. Here's the concern. I'm not sure that Malik Brown makes it back in the NCAA tournament. This is the second time he has dislocated that left shoulder. Cooper Flagg going into the NCAA tournament will not be 100% healthy. I believe the team that wins the NCAA tournament is the healthiest team down the stretch between Duke, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, and the University of Houston. Those 5 are my group to win it.
By the way, they did wave off the bat.
You got 5 choices. You got 5 champions. I got 1. You got 5.
Well, you go out on the limb. But see, here's the thing. Nobody comes to you and says, Dickie B, you were wrong. Everybody loves you. They're all going to come back at me as soon as I miss.
Yeah, you may go 0 for 5.
10-point game. Hepburn trying to bring the Bill closer. Well, Shorty's had a very tough shooting night.
Yeah, I think he should penetrate more. He isn't trying to penetrate and maybe create with his ability to pass the rock.
Pinnable drives it, scores it.
He's one of the best drivers in college basketball, Corey.
Edwards Jr. airborne. Very difficult angle. Malawach cradling the rebound.
How about Malawach going after the block shot? Doesn't get it, but comes back in to gather the rebound, finishing the possession for the Blue Devils defensively.
10 rebounds for him.
I see him getting better and better with each game. I see him getting more confidence, believing in himself, and that's a major, major plus.
It absolutely
minutes to go. Knipple using the screen. Shot clock down to 5. Gillis open and can't cash in.
Malawach only played 10 minutes in the first matchup between these two teams, December the 8th. Look at how he's grown as a player, not only from a production standpoint, but the ability to stay on the floor. The answer from Terrence Edwards. He's been the guy for the Cards all evening long. And Pat Kelsey, 2 blocks to this point, working on another double-double.
He's a rim protector, and I think you've got to be a defensive team that really plays tough defense to win. I'm going to give you my 5 best defensive teams that are always going to be in games. Number 1, you got to think about Duke. You got to think about Houston. Kelvin Sampson belongs in the Hall of Fame. Tennessee with the win today over certainly an Auburn team that's explosive. And what about, I think about certainly St. John's, Rick Pitino, and Michigan State with Tom Izzo, despite losing today to a good Wisconsin team. By the way, in Madison Square Garden, New York, baby. Frank Sinatra sings that beautifully. And a Paisan stood there with the big trophy, Mr. Pitino. I voted for him Coach of the Year, what he's done with St. John's.
Inbounded for Gungba, so Malawach to the bench. Gungba's been having a really good tournament, and that continues.
That's his game. Dickie V, we were at the City of Palms last year watching Cooper Flagg. They ended up beating Paul VI in the championship game. But Paul VI did not have Patrick Gumba. He would have been a difference maker in that game had he been available.
Edwards has been hot as heck.
He's getting better and better as well. They're players.
Too strong that time.
Coach Robinson must be doing a great job with all those big guys.
He is doing a great job, Dickie Ben. What have you always said about freshmen? At this point of the season, they're no longer freshmen, right?
Right. They're sophomores. They're juniors. And the one thing, you hope and pray they all stay. They don't go to the highest bidder. Because I tell you, that's what it's become in college. It's amazing.
Gumba draws the foul. And the 6'11" freshman off to the line.
You know, Corey, it's better free agency in college than there is in the NBA.
In the NBA, they have contracts, Dickie V.
Yeah, I know. Maybe they should give contracts in college. Something's got to slow this down a little bit. I mean, it's out of control. Out of control in terms of, transfer portal. It's a lot of chaos out there, really.
Scott with his fourth foul, by the way.
But, if you're going to be successful, you got to buy into it. She does a great job out there. Rachel Baker, tremendous.
Right next to Cooper Flagg's mom.
Yeah, Kelly. And that's one of the things that John Shire talked to us about earlier in the year. You see Kelly Flagg up cheering. They cheer for each other's kids. She's not here for Cooper. She's here for Duke. And again, her son isn't even playing, but she's still cheering just as loudly for the rest of the players on the floor, wanting a championship for the Blue Devils.
I think this is an A+. If I was giving grades out, you got to give Duke an A+ here tonight. They're beating a team that really is outstanding.
But Dickie, that shows that the Duke Blue Devils are more than Cooper Flagg. They are an absolute great team. In our opinion, the best team in the country with Cooper Flagg. But without Cooper Flagg, they are Shire.
2009 ACC Tournament Most Valuable Player.
Wow. Talk about some great players you mentioned right there. Johnny Dawkins, that brings back memories. 1986, Louisville and Duke for the national title. I believe it was in Dallas. And a guy by the name of Never Nervous Purvis Ellison dominated. But on that team also was our own Jay Billis. He was a member, I think, Adam was my all blue-collar guy.
Scott takes a bump and makes it. He'll be going to the line.
He's not blue-collar anymore. Now he's a PTP or a broadcasting primetime performer. But he was on that that was the first great team of Coach K. And from that moment on, it was lights out. It's what Coach K did. I will say, and I love John Wooden. I love John Wooden. I received the John Wooden Award, and I'll tell you this, unbelievable. I will tell you, Coach K is the greatest coach I've ever seen in college basketball.
And that's why I think what John Shire has been able to do, following in those footsteps with this program, is incredible.
It is incredible because most guys that follow a legend after a year or two are gone. And this guy is setting his own unbelievable numbers.
Gillis, the long one. Rebound tipped and controlled by the Cardinals.
This game far from over. Right now, the Cardinals trying to find a way to get inside that painted area. Duke doing a great job shutting it off, but this is one of the guys that really hasn't been able to get going. Waterman, who knocked down a three earlier, but injuring that hip, had to go out early in the game. Hasn't had the same type of effect that we've seen from him in the first two games in the tournament.
Shot clock to 6. Knippel catches, fires. Rebound comes out high for Hepburn. Edwards wants to push it. Can't connect. He hasn't missed many tonight.
You know what I love about Malowich? Malowich makes sure he don't only gets rebounds in this area, he goes laterally. He goes laterally, left and right. The Duke crowd loves what they see here tonight.
Duke taking their time, up 68-57. Sion James.
He's an excellent floor leader, boy. Sion James.
Gillis with a three right in front of the horn and did not get it off in time. That is a shot clock violation. 1:56 left.
Dickie V, at this point now, and still enough time before the Cards to be able to come back. But if you're voting for a tournament MVP, we know if Louisville wins, we're going with Terrence Edwards. However, if it's the Blue Devils, who's your guy?
Well, my guy is, now do we look for the game or we're looking at the whole tournament?
We got to go tournament.
Yeah, if you go tournament, it's got to be Knipple. It's got to be Knipple.
I can tell you right now, I honestly believe that Common Malawatch will get some votes. I believe he has been special. You're talking about a young man who has not only done the job offensively, but defended the rim. And I agree that Knipple most likely will be the winner. But I would expect for Malawatch to get some votes for tournament MVP. He has been spectacular in all 3 games. Probably the most consistent player for the Blue Devils.
10 rebounds tonight.
He deserves, I tell you, some votes because he was 14-9 for 2 games. Bottom line is, though, you got to think about the 28 that Knipple had when they needed him against Georgia Tech. Came back with 17 against Carolina. I would go with Knipple.
Proctor reaching in for a foul.
Talking the game, I would go with certainly just Proctor.
Proctor's 3rd personal there. That's a great point about Knipple with the 28 in the first game. The game they lost, Cooper Flagg, he only played a little less than a half and has not been able to play again in the tournament. They've needed a leader. Tonight, that guy has really been Proctor.
But in that game also, Knipple didn't just score 28. He also had 8 assists and 1 turnover.
That's right.
And I agree wholeheartedly. I believe he will be the ACC tournament MVP. But when you think about this, really was a team effort from the Blue Devils.
Absolutely.
When you consider what Malawatch did, what Patrick Gungva did coming off the bench, you think about Sion James and Tyrese Proctor, especially in the second half of this game.
And a timeout. Duke was in danger of not getting it across midcourt in time. 1:05 left in the championship game.
It's a blood work and all. No kid should go through that. I'm 85 years old. Those kids, come on, give me a break. I still got energy, though.
You do?
Yeah,
You're
right.
amazing.
New 10 seconds for the Blue Devils after calling the timeout. Smart call by John Shire, calling the timeout with 1 second remaining before there was a 10-second violation to get the Blue Devils more time to get the basketball into the front court.
James Scott has fouled out for the Cardinals. The big sophomore out of Fayetteville, North Carolina.
This is only the beginning for Pat Kelsey in Louisville. The future is going to be so bright there. He's just a winner. He's got that unbelievable way about him that convinces players to follow suit, to be part of the team. Unreal.
Louisville, 111 seasons of basketball, over 1,800 wins, 8 Final Fours, 3 national championships, 25 NBA first-round picks, but they disappeared off the scene for a couple of years. They are back.
Yep, there's no question. And you know what? Both these teams since December are 47-2. 47-2. That's amazing.
Hepburn now with 14, but he's had a rough night. 52 seconds to go. Duke trying to inbound. Up by 10. In for Proctor. And Proctor takes a slap, and he is headed to the other end to shoot.
A key in this game has been the really outstanding job defensively the guys have done to neutralize Chucky Hepburn. They have not allowed him to penetrate, create, innovate, and beat Chucky Hepburn, who's been terrific all year in the ACC.
And Chucky Hepburn also only has 1 steal in this game. The ACC's Defensive Player of the Year, really been neutralized, and well, part of what he does is take the basketball away and get the Cardinals out in transition. But this game, eerily similar to the first game between these two, where the Cards were able to take a lead into halftime, but the Blue Devils turned it on in the second half. In game 1, it was Cooper Flagg and Malik Brown who carried them. In this one, they've gotten solid contributions from a number of different guys. As Tyrese Proctor makes his first free throw of the game. He's 1 of 5 from the free throw line, OB, even though he's knocked down 6 3-point field goals.
Final 40 seconds here in the championship game.
I also want to thank both you guys, the way you've accepted me, coming here and joining you. It's been a great thrill for me. I get emotional. I'll probably be emotional, you know, tomorrow, this weekend, when it's my last game this year, and I pray and hope that I can be back next year and maybe even be better, and hope and pray my doctor really helps me with my voice.
I think you sounded terrific tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a work. I have to listen to my doctor. Right now, he told me voice rest. My family left, and I broke up crying like crazy, and a nurse came in, and she cheered me up. And then I went to my phone, and on my phone were messages from all over the country, from Rick Barnes, Tom Izzo, Calipari, coaches.
Hey, who sent you a message in the first half tonight? Was that LeBron James' mom?
That's what it said on the thing.
That's Miss Gloria.
Was that Gloria?
That's Miss Gloria James.
Legitimate number.
Shot won't go down for Edwards, although he's had a big night and a great tournament.
Dickie B, let me tell you before we get off air, we'd love to have you back. And if I can speak for my guy Dave O'Brien, we think you belong right here with us.
Yes.
And so absolutely, we would love to have you back.
Please.
Go have a great summer, rehabbing, getting better, and let's do it again next year.
I appreciate that, Corey, really.
71-62, Duke with 13.7 to go, putting the finishing touches on a championship here in Charlotte.
I think one thing, I should look at back Kelsey, it's going to get better and better at Louisville, but John Shire's going to be very proud of the effort he's witnessed here with the Carolina game, Georgia Tech game, and tonight, playing without Cooper, playing without Malik Brown. I mean, we're talking about not an average player. We're talking about the most versatile and dominant player in the country in Cooper.
My favorite Blue Devil, checking in right now. This is my guy. He's coming in for Con Knipple, Spencer Hubbard, the smallest guy with the biggest number, and about to check in the game.
And that's the sign that the game is over, that it's in the books for Duke. There's a big hug to Knipple, number 55. Wow. He's got memories for his kids 20 years from now. I played in our championship team, man. I was a vital part of it. I practice every day.
Knipple at 18, by the way. Edwards with an air ball there. Not indicative of the game he has had, but Knipple comes up big again. 28 in their first game, then 17, now 18 tonight.
And it's the first time since leading in half, right?
That's
and
right.
They got beat in the second half to beat up with 5 minutes to go.
So Duke reigns supreme in the ACC, regular season and tournament champions for the first time since 2006.
There's that handshake line. Yesterday, a player shoves a guy. I say a handshake should be before the game. Before the game.
Both these teams showing tremendous respect for each other. They battled hard on the floor. However, shaking hands after the game, acknowledging the greatness of each other. Tremendous amount of respect from the Blue Devils to the Cardinals and vice versa as the blue and white, Duke blue and white confetti flies here at the Spectrum Center celebrating the 2025 ACC Tournament Champions.
Now, one thing, I got 3 grandkids that are all going wild right now at Duke. My granddaughter Ava is on a top 7 tennis team at Duke, and my twin grandsons were on the top 10 Duke men's tennis team. They were excited.
Yep, all of Duke Nation bathing in this one. Think about what they did. For the most part, without the best player on their team and the best player in the country, Cooper Flagg, they just won their conference championship. Not to mention without Malik Brown, who's their second best defender after Cooper Flagg, and they win the whole thing.
Yep, I think Knipple's going to get the MVP. I really do. When you look at the total body of work for 3 games.